Think we are live now. We'll wait for some time, let others join. Hi, hi. Guys,
Yeah, I see the people are joining.
whoever is in the chat, just say hi and just confirm if we are audible, if we are clear. If there's any problem, just let us know. Ruko, ruko. Bombarding us with questions, yeah? 2 minute to ruko, guys. Hi, hi, Vicky. There are 8 people right now. 2-3 minutes में we'll have more. Let's
Okay.
wait for them to come because guys, there's one topic that we've set for this live, which is question leaving strategy. How do you leave tough questions? How do you not waste a lot of time on these questions? Easier question कैसे pick करना चाहिए? Puzzles वगैरह जैसे जो DI होते हैं वो सब में it gets very confusing sometimes on how to pick the right questions. So which is why we've got Rucha and Atharva today, who are the current students of JBIMS, and they'll be helping you with the strategy and tricks on what you can do to leave such questions and attempt the right ones. So just wait for 2 minutes so that maximum people can listen to what they want to say and then ask questions on that. Hi, hi, Savita. ठीक है, I think good to go. Arocha, Atharva, whoever wants to start first can go for it.
Maybe we can start with Atharva.
Give me a second.
Rucha, why don't you go?
Okay. So, hello everyone. Rucha this side, and as you know, I'm the current student of JBIMS, and yeah. So let's start with the today's topic, which is basically the topics or the questions which you should leave while attempting CET. So the first thing is, as most of you know, you don't have negative marking in CET. So basically, the time you waste on the wrong questions or the questions which you are not able to solve is kind of a negative marking for you, because time is the most important thing in CET. So for this, the questions which you're gonna leave are the most important ones, and you need to have, as you know, CET is speed based, accuracy based, and also based upon strategy and how calm you keep your mind during attempting the paper. That is the most important thing. So maybe when you're solving the paper, you can have the questions which you can solve within 20 to 30 seconds. So you can just divide the questions based on the time which you are able to give and the way it arrives to you. For example, there are questions which clicks, when you see the questions, it clicks, okay, this is how you'll start, you'll just give the solution or you'll start attempting. So for that, you might need 20 to 30 seconds, and you can attempt that once first. So maybe you can divide the questions based on the three like signals. Like first one will be the green ones, which you can solve in 20 to 30 seconds. And next one may be maybe some questions which you might leave for attempting it later. So you can mark the questions accordingly. And third ones are the one which you don't want to attempt or give your timing for the question at any cost. You don't want to waste your time on such questions. So by giving the mocks, you can attempt, you can just no, these are the questions which work for you, and maybe you can divide the questions based on you which you can solve easily: green, red, yellow. So this will come with the help of solving more number of questions, giving mocks, and analyzing the mocks, which is the most important thing. So for me, I had some of the topics based on, I mean, it was divided based on the different sections. For example, for quants, I was so sure that, okay, I am very good in arithmetics and algebra. So maybe I could leave the questions which look very long to me. For example, they might be from geometry, or they might be from various other, for example, profit and loss, or simple interest, compound interest, which might consume more time. So what I did was, I just used to go through the question, scan it, and then go through, check if the data is too heavy, or there are tables, there are fractions which look too confusing. I used to leave those questions and go to the next question, as these look very complicated. So there are some of the topics like DI sets and lengthy algebra, or some questions of probability which are very time consuming. So I used to leave such questions. And for logical reasoning, I used to go through the diagrams. There are some of the questions which look very complicated, so some where you can't form any diagrams, so you just go through the questions, check, okay, if these questions are not able to, you're not able to understand the logic behind it, then you can just skip such questions, and maybe you can mark it for review. Because for me, logical reasoning was my strongest section, so I tried to attempt as much as possible. So you can just mark such questions for mark for review, and you can come back again. So in logical reasoning, you can form this way. You can just check for the conditions. If the conditions are too heavy or they look too complicated, you can just leave such questions. And the next topic, which is abstract reasoning. So in abstract reasoning, basically you have various topics like mirror images, water images. There are some diagrams. You have to form the sequence. So what you can do is, if you are not able to find any pattern, you can just skip such questions, or you can do mark for review, because there's no point if you're not getting the sequence in first glance. There's no point in wasting your time. And you can skip such questions, just give 10 seconds for such questions, and just go to next question. Or else, if you can guess the rule, if you're not able to form the exact sequence, you can just guess it, mark the answer, and go to the next question. Because in abstract reasoning, you have around 20 to 25 questions, and you can easily score more than 20. And the next section is verbal ability. So for me personally, verbal ability was the toughest section, as everyone might know. So what you can do is, you can just go through various sentences. Some of the paragraphs, they might look very tough to you. You might not understand some of the words, some of the sentence meaning is unclear. Even if you read it twice or thrice, it's very unclear to you. So what you can do is, you can just skip such questions. Or else, I mean, for me, for usually in CAT, what you do is, you go through the paragraphs first, and then you go to the questions. But for CET, my strategy was totally different. For CET, I used to go through the questions first, and then I used to skim through the paragraphs, which is because the paragraphs are comparatively easy, and the questions are much more easier than what you do attempt in CAT and XAT. So what you can do is, you can go through the questions and then skim through the passage and then attempt it. So maybe you can check the sentences, check the questions, and if you find it tough, you're not able to understand it, and the options might look very close or similar, then you can just skip such questions. But try mostly to attend most of the questions, and do some of the guesswork in the questions which you're not able to understand completely. So based on this, you can just skip some of the questions and solve the questions which you're very comfortable in. Maybe this will help you in leaving the questions which you're not very comfortable. So,
Got it.
I mean, this was
That
from my side.
was
Maybe Atharva can add someone.
that was quite a comprehensive answer, by the way, Rusha. Thank you so much for that. I'm sure a lot of aspirants would have liked that answer and probably use these techniques when giving their next mocks. And also, guys, 3 mocks free है हाँ, वो CET का when you register, no? तो वो 3 mocks definitely देना because CET के side से है, so that would really help you all for the attempt and हो सकता है कि you might find quite a few similar questions वो mock में से in your final paper, so please do attempt those questions. ठीक है तो please go for it.
Yeah, I guess like Rucha covered a lot of points. So, from my side, first thing is which questions to leave and which questions to mark. That is what we are covering, right? So, as we know, 150 minutes and 200 questions that we have. So, we almost, on an average, we have 45 seconds for each and every question. So, if the question is taking too long, for example, if it is taking a long, more than 60 seconds, just leave it. So from the marks, you'll get to know that which questions takes a lot of time, like more than 60 seconds or 70, 80, 90 seconds. You have to skip those questions because we have less time and more questions. So when you will give 10, 15, 20 marks, you'll get to know that these particular questions are taking long time. You just have to leave those questions. So, whenever you are giving now, like 48 days we have in hand, so you can practice this thing like first pass and second pass. So, what is first pass, second pass is in the first attempt, go through the questions which are really easy, which are really straightforward, and which you can answer in like 30, 40 seconds. That's it. So, those questions you have to attempt. So, why this strategy? Because like that will boost your confidence whenever you are giving a mock, or whenever you are trying to attempt the CET. Because when you correctly mark 30, 40, 50 questions, the confidence automatically will boost, and you'll have that energy to sit for 2.5 long hours and attempt all the remaining questions as well. So in the first pass, go through all the easier questions which you can attempt in 30 seconds, 40 seconds. So just scan it, like you'll get to know this is a relatively easier questions. I'll just do it and go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Do not waste your time even reading the questions which are hard. So by that way, like maybe you can solve 100, 120, 100 questions, and then 100 will be remaining. Then in the second pass, you have to attempt medium difficulty ones. So which are gonna take like 50 seconds or 60 seconds. So that's how you can practice as well. So first, in the first pass, go through all the straightforward questions, just get it done so that you'll have that confidence that yes, I have done 100 questions and I have, let's say, 1 hour, 20 minutes remaining in my hand. So in that time, I just have to correctly solve 50 or 60 correct questions, and then I'm on the verge of marking a good score. So firstly, you will have to find 100 easy questions from your question paper, and then try to get 50 to 60 medium difficulty questions solved in the remaining time. Rest 40 questions, maybe 20, you can just leave because those are really hard, and though that you don't have to attempt in the CET because in 150 minutes there is no time that you can solve all the 200 questions. So those questions you just have to not solve and guess it from the given options. And the rest 20 questions again, like maybe you can guess, smart guess, you can eliminate the options, and that's how you have to correctly mark all 200 questions because there is no negative marking as we know. So first 100 questions straightforward, 50 questions which are medium difficulty ones, and 50 to 60 and 40 questions you can just guesswork. So that's how like your score will also increase. And do not take any questions on your ego that नहीं ये तो मैं सॉल्व करूंगा ही करूंगा, अरे ये तो मैंने बहुत प्रैक्टिस किया है या मैं सॉल्व करूंगा। अगर ईगो पे ले लोगे तो इट विल गोना टेक 2 मिनट्स एंड देन आपके जो 4 क्वेश्चन है वो छूट जाएंगे इन द एंड। सो डू नॉट टेक इट ऑन ईगो, अगर नहीं आ रहा है छोड़ दो। डू नॉट वेस्ट मोर देन 20 to 30 seconds ऑन द क्वेश्चन कि जो सॉल्व नहीं होने वाला है अगले 30 सेकेंड्स में। तो वो प्रैक्टिस के साथ तुमको समझ में आ जाएगा बिकॉज यू आर अल्टीमेटली वेस्टिंग दोस 20 to 30 seconds ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन जो सॉल्व भी नहीं हो रहा। तो अगर तुमने 1 मिनट भी लगा दिया एंड इन द एंड वो गलत हो गया, तो यू हैव वेस्टेड 1 मिनट ऑन रॉन्ग क्वेश्चन। रादर आप वो 1 मिनट दूसरे क्वेश्चन में इन्वेस्ट करोगे तो दो क्वेश्चन सही से सॉल्व हो जाएंगे। सो दैट्स हाउ यू हैव टू स्मार्ट पिक एंड स्मार्ट पिक द क्वेश्चंस।
परफेक्ट। थैंक यू सो मच अथर्व फॉर दैट स्ट्रैटेजी। गाइस, ये स्ट्रैटेजी पे स्पेसिफिकली क्वेश्चन लीविंग स्ट्रैटेजी पे कोई क्वेश्चन हो तो पुट दैट वुड बी आवर फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस टू आंसर। इफ नॉट, Rucha and Atharva, you can start taking up the questions. Yeah, Rucha, you can start with the first question, whichever you want to.
Yeah, so this was the first question which was asked, but I mean some of them have answered it. So I guess this is the question by Savita. She has asked that MBA CET has two attempts. Will JBMS accept the score from the second attempt as well? So I just want to make it clear that if you have two attempts, the rules are very clear that from the two attempts, the one which you are scoring the highest will be considered for admission in any of the college. So maybe most of the students should keep that in mind that
Yeah, Rucha's internet is gone. Atharva, probably you can continue.
Yeah, so continuing with Savita's question, see, what was the question? Sorry, will JBMS accept the score from the second attempt as well? So, just to make you clear, guys, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि JBMS फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट देखेगा, सेकंड अटेम्प्ट। वो तो जो रूल बना है फ्रॉम सीईटी सेल, तो जिसमें से आपका बेस्ट स्कोर रहेगा, दैट विल बी एक्सेप्टेड एट जेबीआईएमएस एंड दैट विल बी एक्सेप्टेड एट ईच एंड एवरी कॉलेज। तो ऐसा जेबीआईएमएस के लिए कोई अलग से नहीं रहेगा, और दैट विल बी सेम अक्रॉस। करेक्ट मी विधान इफ आई एम रॉन्ग,
करेक्ट,
बट आई
करेक्ट,
गेस या।
करेक्ट यार। ये
या।
गाइस, ये सब क्वेश्चंस का कुछ मतलब नहीं है यार। हम लोग इतना
हम्म।
वीडियोस बना रहे, वी हैव बीन टेलिंग यू ऑल कि दो अटेम्प्ट्स है, तो दिस डजंट मेक सेंस कि मतलब सेकंड अटेम्प्ट जेबी लेगा कि नहीं लेगा। अगर ऐसा होता नहीं होता तो व्हाई
तो
वुड वी
लाते ही
इवन
नहीं
मेक
है,
सच
हाँ।
वीडियोस?
करेक्ट।
तो प्लीज ये सब मत पूछो यार। मतलब दिस इज वेस्टिंग टाइम फॉर अदर्स ऑल्सो एंड वी आर हियर लाइफ पे। तो कुछ और पूछ लो यार। मतलब दिस इज वेरी लॉजिकल। अदर यू कैन प्रॉब्ली टेक अप द नेक्स्ट वन।
यस। सो आई विल टेक द नेक्स्ट वन मे बी। Yeah, so what should be the section-wise attempting sequence? Shubham Dengne is asking this question. So see, section-wise attempting sequence. I'll tell my strategy what I did, and then you can maybe from your mocks you can derive your strategy. So for see CET में ऐसा कोई फिक्स सीक्वेंस होता नहीं है। कुछ एग्जाम्स में ऐसा भी हुआ है कि मिक्स्ड क्वेश्चंस आया है, एंड कुछ एग्जाम्स में ऐसा हुआ है कि सेक्शन वाइज आया है। So, see, start with the easier question, easier section. So, if you are comfortable with logical reasoning, just start with that and go through the questions, because uh, start with the logical reasoning, then abstract, then quantitative, and then VRC. That's what I followed, because for why first logical reasoning? Because it is like 75 questions for the logical reasoning that we have in our exam. So most of our part, like the weightage to the logical reasoning is high. So start with that, and relatively logical reasoning will be easier. So s- go through that and try to finish it in first 55 minutes. Then go to the abstract. It should not take more than 15 minutes, because the questions will be relatively easier. And if you're not getting the pattern, just leave it. So 15 minutes for those. And then you can go to the quantitative and in the end verbal, because don't try to attempt quantitative in the end, because quantitative generally comes hard, or it takes a lot of time to solve it, right? So if you are attempting it in the very end, you'll just leave 20 to 30 questions because of the time crunch. So keep it third, and then last you can go with the VARC, because in the VARC, if you are like, if you know, you know. If you don't know, you just have to leave, because synonym, like, you cannot think that what should be the synonym of XYZ. If you are aware of it, you'll just mark it correctly. If you don't, if you are not aware, you'll leave it. So that's how you can go.
ठीक है।
Then maybe the next one. Yeah, Rushikesh Kulkarni is asking like a guide regarding the mental fatigue in the end of the mock. So I guess like I pretty much covered this when I was answering how you should attempt the CET questions, right? So as I said, firstly, you have to go through the straightforward questions, straightforward 100 question. So जब तुम पहले 100 क्वेश्चंस ऐसे स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड है, तो उसमें तुम्हारा कोई मेंटल फटीग होगा नहीं, लाइक इवन यूल गेट दैट एनर्जी, यूल गेट दैट कॉन्फिडेंस कि नहीं, मेरे को तो और क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने हैं, मैंने तो 100 कर लिए, अभी तो मेरे को बस 50 क्वेश्चंस राइटली मार्क करने हैं इन द रिमेनिंग टाइम. सो मेंटल फटीग कब आता है? व्हेन द क्वेश्चंस लाइक यू आर नॉट एबल टू सॉल्व, तब मेंटल फटीग आता है. तो इफ यू आर अटेम्प्टिंग द क्वेश्चंस राइटली, यू विल गेट दैट कॉन्फिडेंस एंड यू विल हैव दैट एनर्जी कि नहीं भाई, मेरे को तो पूरा अभी अच्छे से करना है आगे के भी क्वेश्चन. सो दैट्स हाउ, लाइक वही स्ट्रेटेजी फॉलो करो फर्स्ट पास थ्रू की. Go through the questions and pick up the easier ones so that you'll have that mental energy to solve the remaining questions in the end. And again, if you are getting fatigued in the end, try to attempt more and more mocks in the remaining 48 days. Maybe you can at least you can give 20 mocks so that you'll have that practice to sit for 2.5 hours long. And yeah, that's how it will help you.
ठीक है.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, can take the next one.
अच्छा.
Yeah, first of all, sorry. There was some issue with my laptop. So maybe I'll take up the next question. So which is, I hope Atharva, you haven't taken up this question by Rishikesh. So he mentioned like I'm facing issue. Like I'm scoring 125 to 130 in mocks, but due to mental fatigue, I'm randomly guessing 25 to 30 questions in last 30 minutes.
Yeah, you can go ahead with that one.
Okay, so first of all, 125 to 130 score in mocks is really good. If this is the score without you are adding the 25 to 30 questions which you have guessed, because genuine marks or I mean which you can score without guessing, if it is around 130 to 140, then it is actually a very great number. Because in CET, like we have mentioned, and like we have the today's topic, that you have to leave some of the questions. So for the some of the questions which you leave, you obviously have to do guesswork. So even from that, you might take, okay, let's consider you have 20% accuracy in the guesswork. So maybe from 125 to 130, you can, I mean, you get 125 to 130 as the genuine score. And with the guesswork, you are getting like five more 10 questions correct, then that would be a great score. Like 140 is also a great score. It totally depends on the question paper, the slot, and basically like we have already mentioned previously, you have to be in top 5 in any of the mocks which you give. So most of the time you have mocks by TTP or any of the other coaching institute. Just make sure that you are in top 5 of those mocks, and in last 30 minutes if you're guessing 25 to 30 questions, so basically you are giving mostly 60 seconds for one question. So I would suggest that you focus on the questions which you are guessing. If they are the questions, you can go through the topic, clear your basics. You can definitely, I mean, get 25 to 30 questions correct by making your topics which you are leaving as your strong point, because you have already 60 seconds to solve one question. So you have chances that you can get more than 50% of the questions correct which you are leaving in last 30 minutes. So maybe with the help of this you can get around 140 or 145 marks. And for mental fatigue, yeah, solving more mocks is the only I mean, rescue thing at this moment. Because if you're having mental fatigue, like Atharva said, you have to sit for like more than, I mean, around 2 hours, more than 2 hours. So you have to, I mean, you can't say that you have mental fatigue, you have to adjust it with. And if you're having mental fatigue, mostly you have to give the mocks which you're solving. So there are some students, what they do is they start solving the mock, they take a break, and then they go solve the mock again. They can restart the mock. But I would suggest that don't follow this method. Just give the mock in one sitting. This will help you to, I mean, solve your mental fatigue issue.
Guys, there are only two reasons which, according to me, are because what could be the reasons why you have this mental fatigue is from what I have experienced. Firstly, when you're just starting to give mocks, you're starting it because you're not used to it, so that's why you might feel the mental fatigue. Second would be you not knowing the chapters good enough. So जब बोर होते रहते हैं ना मॉक सॉल्व करते वक्त, when you're not able to convert some questions, that's when you get bored and that mental fatigue kicks in. So first is practice, second is know enough about the chapters and solve enough so that solve करते करते मजा है. Once you're able to solve every question in the mock, no, that's when you find it fun to finish off the whole mock and start getting better scores. तो ये mental fatigue वाला चीज नहीं आएगा. ठीक है, अथर्व, I think you can take one last question and then we get done for the day.
Correct. Correct. So, like Kaustubh and Aditya, I'll take the question from those guys. Like, both are asking on the same lines. Kaustubh is asking like, last year we had six slots. This year we'll be having nine. So last year top 25 of each slot में आना था. इस साल top 15 of each slot में आना है. So first one is that, and Aditya is asking how much score the general category student should target.
And say it's
So
बस वो number of slots disclose नहीं हुआ है, so I don't know how they know कि क्या है वो, नौ जो भी
correct,
है.
correct, correct. But
डेज पता है अपने को, we don't know how.
correct, correct, correct. But like as he mentioned, like last year's chase slot there, and then you'll have to be in the top 25 of each slot. I don't think that is the right way of thinking. And he's saying that अगर no slot हुए इस साल तो you'll have to be in the top 15 of each slot. So personally, I don't think that is the correct way of thinking. And I'll suggest to each and everyone that please don't think that way that you have to be in top 25 of that particular slot, or you have to score 160 or 150 or 130 to be in the top. Just give your best in your particular slot, whatever you will be attempting. Because see, like last year, few of the slots were easier. When I attempted the CET, my slot was easier, and I scored 165. And then I got into the JBMS. But there were guys who scored 140 in the fourth slot, and they even got JBMS. So, see, to answer Aditya's question, there is no particular marks that I can suggest, because it will vary depending on the slot, depending on the exam which they are conducting, and depending on the difficulty level. So there is no as such score that one can tell that you have to score 140 to get into the JBMS, or you have to score 180 to enter into the JBMS. So you just have to maximize your score. That should be your strategy. So please don't think about score, or like what should be the ideal score. So even like I remember when I was preparing for the CET, I written down on my one of the paper that you have to aim 160 in your CET exam. But I was not crossing 140 in any of my mock. But in the CET exam, I scored 165. So you can see the variation that I did not cross any in any of the mock. I did not cross 140. I was aiming for 160, but I got 165. So that's how like it will vary depending on the slot. And Kaustubh, the way you are thinking is not right. Like you have to be in the top 25, you have to be in top 15, because अगर ये माइंडसेट से जाओगे तो तुमको पता ही नहीं है ना कि कितने लोग कौन सा स्लॉट में आ रहे हैं, एंड यू आर नॉट कॉम्पिटिंग विद दैट पर्टिकुलर स्लॉट ओनली. थिंक दैट वे कि नहीं, मेरे को टॉप 100 स्टूडेंट्स में आना है और टॉप 150 स्टूडेंट्स में आना है, और उसके लिए मेरे को सारे 200 क्वेश्चंस मार्क करने ही करना है. आई हैव टू मैक्सिमाइज माई स्कोर. मतलब यू कैन नॉट से कि नहीं, मैं बाकी लोगों का 150 आ जाएंगे तो मैं 151 स्कोर कर लेता हूँ एंड देन आई विल बी इन द टॉप. ट्राई टू थिंक दैट वे कि नहीं, मेरे को 200 में से 199 लाना है. और 200 में से 200 ही लाना है, सो दैट आई विल बी द टॉपर. सो थिंक दैट वे, बिकॉज you are competing with more than 1 lakh students here, and even if you don't consider just the applicants, but more than 15 to 20,000 will be taking the CET very seriously. So you are competing with top 15,000, 20,000 minds. So try to be in the top rather than thinking this way कि मेरे को top 25, top 30 में आना. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys, for all the answers that you've taken up. Thank you, guys, for joining the live session. We'll be coming up with another live on Sunday. जो भी topics चाहिए वो comment करो so that we know what you all are looking for. We'll definitely take those up in the next live, and we'll have other JVMS students, alums who would be joining the live and helping you with all your doubts. Thank you so much, guys, for being with us.